Yo, what is up, y'all? Danny G. Just want to quickly recap the Niners 30-12 win back on Thursday night, along with some notable NFL games on this Sunday. So let's go back to Thursday night. The Niners get the win 30-12 against the New York Football Giants. I wouldn't necessarily say the game was a full-on blowout up until the fourth quarter, but the Niners pretty much dominated the whole game. Brock Purdy and the Niners have done it again, scoring 30 points in three straight games. They put up 30 points in Pittsburgh week 1. They put up 30 points in LA week 2. And then week 3, their home opener at Levi's, they put up 30 points as well. That is just remarkable. The first time in my lifetime I've seen a Niners offense this explosive since I've started watching the 49ers football 16 years ago in 2007. I have not seen a more loaded team, more explosive offense that just continues to dominate. And hey, I've seen a lot of shitty seasons, but I've seen some good seasons as well. 2011 was a hell of a start to a season. 2019, hell of a start to a season, going 8-0. But this 2023 Niners team is stacked, and it is by far the best I've seen since for directly following them that closely. I've not seen a more stacked offense. But Brock Purdy, like I've said before in my videos, I have not seen a more poised and confident quarterback in the pocket since I've started watching 49ers football. And a lot of people are already ready to say he's the best 49ers quarterback since Steve Young, or at least since Jeff Garcia. And hey, all I can say is Brock Purdy does not always look perfect. In these last couple of games, he's had some bad throws. He's had some overthrows. But here's the thing. Since Brock Purdy took over when Jimmy G got injured last year, he plays his absolute best. Now, it's regardless whether he plays well in all four quarters. He plays his absolute fucking best in the fourth quarter. And as an NFL starting quarterback, that's the best trait to have, is playing your absolute best in the fourth quarter. Because if you play your best in the fourth quarter, you're always going to have a better chance to win the fucking game. So, for the Niner fans on Twitter, or X now, whatever the fuck it's called, that want to talk about how Purdy played bad, the Niners still won. Well, Brock Purdy has also done something that, heck, even Joe Montana and Steve Young haven't done. He's led a team to 30 points. He's led the 49ers to 30 points, to a 30-point victory in 3 consecutive games. Wow. Now, Christian McCaffrey, of course, becomes the first 49er since Jerry Rice in 1987 to score 12 points, to score in 12 consecutive games. Brock Purdy has scored a touchdown in 12 consecutive games, whether it be a rushing touchdown or a receiving touchdown. So CMC is absolutely the most impactful player on the Niners offense, even more than the quarterback Brock Purdy. CMC is an absolute explosive weapon and basically is the main source of domination on this offense. And hey, that might even make some of the Brock Purdy critics get more stuff to say. Oh, would he be doing this on a team without Christian McCaffrey? And that is a valid question. But hey, when you have critics that are gonna overanalyze you, when you've just done nothing but win, when you have not lost a single game where you've started the entire game, because Brock Purdy has not lost a single game where he started the entire game so far as a 49er. Now, is he going to lose one eventually? Yes, of course. But until he has done that, he is still completely undefeated as a starter when he's played the entire game. So the Niners are 3-0 now. They got the Arizona Cardinals next week. Now I wanted to go over some of the other notable games on today's NFL Sunday. Well, technically yesterday now. Now you might be like, "What, Danny? Why are you wearing a number 31 jersey?" And if someone isn't a Niner fan, they might not even necessarily know off the top of their head who number 31 Well, it was on the Niners in this case. Now, this is a Raheem Mostert jersey. Raheem Mostert does not currently play for the 49ers. He plays for the Miami Dolphins. And the Miami Dolphins today made NFL history, scoring 70 points against the Denver Broncos, beating the Denver Broncos 70-20, and being the first NFL team to score at least 70 points since the formerly known as the Washington Redskins did in 1966, scoring 72 points, which is the NFL record. So Mike McDaniel and the Miami Dolphins, if they would have scored 2 more points, they would have scored three more points, they would have scored the most points in NFL history. Now, and Raheem Mostert had 3 rushing touchdowns, which gave me some flashbacks because I watched a lot of this game. It was the national game that was on CBS. Raheem Mostert scored 4 rushing touchdowns in the 2019-2020 NFC Championship game against Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers. In this game, Raheem Mostert had 3 rushing touchdowns. The Miami Dolphins dominated the Denver Broncos. And that was just absolutely incredible. And hey, I know a couple people, Ron Greco and Broncos Sniper, who I both met in real life last year when I went to Denver for the Niners-Broncos game last year. They both flew all the way to Miami to see their team get 70 points scored on them. Hey, at least they got to visit Miami. Hell of a place to visit. I'm thinking about maybe going there next year. The Niners play there. I've never been to Miami. I'd love to visit South Beach in Miami. Never been there. And they got to be part of NFL history, so can't be all that bad. But wow, just absolute wow. And I still got love for Raheem Mostert, so I was really happy to see him tear it up. And hey, he scored me 45 fantasy points. And by the way, speaking of fantasy points, going back to Thursday's game, George Kittle had a monster game. George Kittle gave me some fantasy points as well. And hey, this season we're gonna see George Kittle looking the best he's played since 2019. The Iowa State connection, Brock Purdy to George Kittle, is gonna come alive again this year. We saw it a little bit last year, but I expect to see George Kittle have a breakout year that's gonna shock everyone because a lot of people thought that Kittle was past his prime. I think Kittle is the most comfortable with Brock Purdy as a quarterback, and with C.J. Beathard and Nick Mullins and Jimmy G and any quarterback that the Niners have had with Kittle's looked pretty good, but just like how I think Kyle Shanahan trusts Brock Purdy the most of any quarterback since he's been the head coach of the 49ers, I know that George Kittle trusts Brock Purdy as his quarterback more than any quarterback that he's had. So, but yeah, just wanted to, when I got off the tangent about fantasy, it made me think of how George Kittle gave me some fantasy points on Thursday as well. Some other games, the Cardinals beat the Dallas Cowboys 28-16. So the Cardinals, we face them next week. They're coming off a big win against the Cowboys. Not many people expected that. The Raiders lose to the Pittsburgh Steelers 23-18, and Jimmy Garoppolo looked a lot like his former self, throwing 2 touchdown passes, but also throwing 3 interceptions, and it looked like he got injured for a little bit in the game too, but luckily it was nothing too serious. He was able to come back. Now, I hate the fucking Raiders, but I do want to see Jimmy G play well, but even though he did still have 2 touchdown passes, he also had 3 interceptions, so a lot of Raider fans are not too happy with Jimmy Garoppolo, and us Niner fans know nothing more than the drama that is Jimmy G. He'll have a good game, look good, and then he'll have a shitty game the next week, look horrible. But hey, the Raiders came close to getting that game. And at least Jimmy G kept them in the game, so. But I just wanted to come on here, touch on the Niners win last Thursday, and then touch on the former Niner Raheem Mostert and the Miami Dolphins. With, of course, Dolphins also got Mike McDaniel, former Niners offensive coordinator as well, and longtime assistant of Kyle Shanahan. So good for the Dolphins. Congrats to them on getting that 70-20 win. I don't know if there's any current Dolphin video makers on YouTube, but shout out to Flipper and AFC Miami East and anyone who's a Dolphins fan that I've known on here throughout the years. And yep, Danny G is out. Peace.